For the midterm project, we are going to be converting a professional design that's available to you in Zeppelin. So here's the design package where you can see what the page is going to look like. And you should all have access to Zeppelin. I've sent out an invitation on your @mail.weber.edu account. And so sign up for Zeppelin and get on there. There's no cost to use it. And it shows you what the page is to look like when it's all the way complete. And it gives you lots of information. You're going to need that information to do it. And the idea is to figure out to see what the details are and to be able to figure out how to get them into your design. And here I'm showing where I've got part of the page all the way done, where it's got the content and the style all the way done. And then here's where I've just added the content. Now the content is also available in this tool, so you don't have to do any typing. The content is there, you can just copy paste it. And I want to show you some ideas that might make this more helpful. So you get to pick what kind of elements you're putting them in. So I chose to put these in right here's where I'm working on this section right here where I have 3 different boxes with information in. And I chose to make those boxes in my HTML. I did choose to use row and columns, although I overrode most of the style in the columns, so I don't know how helpful it was, but the row was specifically helpful. But I chose to have an image, and then a heading 3, and then a paragraph, and then an A link. And I put this in a section that I named 3 services, and that gives me access to it. So you get to choose what kind of structure you're going to make and what kind of classes you're going to assign. Now notice that now that I've defined that, I want to go in and be able to set style on this. Notice I'm already on number 221. There's a lot of lines of code in here, and you'll see that happening a lot. So I have this class called 3 services, and there are a variety of ways to write selectors for that, right? I can do that section.3services, or I can just do .3 services. So you're going to learn a lot about selectors. As you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're capturing what you're looking for. And one of the best ways to do that is to just put a background color that's very visible around it. So I can see then and go and look at this page and see if I've captured it. And there I can see the whole section and what that means. And so I can see what I've captured. And if this doesn't show up red, then I know the selector didn't work. And before I start doing anything with it, I really want to make sure I'm on the right place. So now if I want to capture the boxes, notice that I didn't just want a column on these different boxes. I needed to be able to capture them and add different things. And so I gave them another class box. Remember that you can do multiple classes. You just separate them with a space. So these ones have several classes. And then I just go to the style and I say, okay, I want to deal with the row. So I can say, well, inside in the section that has class set to 3 services, I want to find something with a class set to row. And then I can set style on all 3 of those, right? And I want to see now what those look like. I know that I've captured this correctly. So let me see if I can capture this one correctly as well, and I'll make it a different color so I can see what those are. And I go back and I refresh to see what I'm getting. And then I can see that I captured the boxes. And notice that the boxes entirely fill up the page. And so I can go say, okay, well, what do I have to do to style these? And I can see that they're 330 pixels wide and 594 pixels high. So I just add that style. And I just say, well, the width is, and it tells me in there what that width is, 330 pixels. And I can see it either on the hover or I can see it over here on this side. So I want the width to be 330 pixels, and you just do this. You just once you add the content, get that set up the way you want, and then go ahead and start adding the style, and just be careful to really look at the details and make it look the way that it is in the design. and just move one at a time through each of the details. And so, okay, so I made the boxes that way. Now, what's happening here? They're all bunched up, so now I need to figure out, well, what's happening here? And this is really the trick, is to figure out, okay, I see this, what does that mean exactly? It's like, okay, this doesn't look like what I expected. I expected there to be 3 boxes and for them to be side by side. So let me go back and check my style, and I see, oh, look, I put row, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted box class. So you're going to make mistakes like that, but notice how clear it became when it didn't show up how I expected. And so I could go right away. I suggest you make a little bit of change and go back and check and see, okay, is that kind of what I expected? And there, that's more what I expected, right? I have 1, 2, 3 boxes. They look more the right size, and that's more what I expect them to be. And now I can say, okay, well, I need to float them next to each other. So I can do that. Now, what I don't have is I haven't added the style for the columns, right? So if I add the style for the columns, that will add the float, because that's already built in there. If I don't want to do that, then I can manually say I want these to float left. So there's a lot of different ways to do exactly the same thing in CSS. So just keep moving along and doing the way that works good for you. And there I've got them side by side, and now I've got stuff going up here, so I see that I'm going to have to clear that. So lots of different ways to do the same thing. Do a little piece at a time, go refresh it, make sure it's working the way you want. If not, make changes until you get it on. And keep working on it until you get it just the way that you want, and then move on to the next thing. And be sure and let me know if you have any questions that I can help you with. Good luck. It's interesting, but very, very detailed. This will give you a good idea what it would mean to be somebody who added the code to a web page that a designer has already designed.